Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US tech stocks, and starting with the NASDAQ. So we're looking at the 16,000 here, and we can look at the pattern at the 16,000 as a classic trading level pattern. That's the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then a correction at this point. So we'll be looking at this particular pattern here, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and a deeper correction here, actually. But I think we should just check out the bigger picture for a moment, because we are looking for a top up in this area. Now, I think I might just go to the daily chart here. So just starting as Monday. Get the grey cells working. So this is what it's looking like now. As I mentioned last week, there was two types of patterns that we're looking at. If we consider this top here, we were looking for patterns that would have that top in, and some would come down, and then some would make new highs here, and they would be labeled wave one. There's the other type of pattern where we have this high, which is this high, and we have the move down as a corrective move, and then we have a move up here that doesn't take out the high here. Now, when this one takes out the high here, this will pull back here, right? And these ones that don't make the high here, they'll also pull back as well. So that's pretty much what's going to sort of happen. Now, I've labeled some stocks to make new highs, and I've labeled some stocks not to make new highs. But some of the stocks that I have labeled that won't make a new high could actually make a new high. So I'll just see how they go. We just have to wait until they unfold to see, because sometimes they can just move quite quickly, and sometimes they just sort of stall and do all sorts of things. But these are the two sorts of patterns that we're looking like, and the S&P is in this particular pattern. So if we look at the S&P here for a moment, come off this and go into a daily chart, the S&P may make a new high, but I'm just sort of talking about things. So basically we've got here is 1, 2, 3, 4 here, so we're still looking for a move up here. So we'll just see how they all top. It could make a new top. If it makes a new top, we're just going to bring this over to here. It's as simple as that, and I hope that is the case, actually, because then it makes life easier. We'll call that a wave 4, and then for wave 5 of 1 would be over here for that. So there's a good chance of that occurring. Let's just see how it plays out, really. Yeah. In the meantime, we've got a few positions on in the market. So with with Apple here, we could also look at this as a B wave up here, or we could look at it as wave 1 up here. So we'll just see what speed comes into the market. So at the moment we're at 190, and we'll need to see. We'll eventually get support here, and we'll eventually push up in this case. I'll just go from 1,000 ticks to 100 ticks in here, just to have a look at this a little bit further. So yeah, I can count the move up in a couple of different ways, but the main takeaway here to understand is that at the 190, we've got group 1, which is above, and group 2 below. So that's the natural swing range for this market. So it's come up here, it's had a bit of a correction now, and we'll be looking up here as wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then we should see some type of correction here and then move up again. That's the general sort of pattern of this. Now, we can have this as a top in, or we can move the top over here. This is just another little quirk. In terms of our trade, we've had an entry here, we've taken part profit at the 190, and we'll see how this goes tomorrow. So maybe even Tuesday, we'll see Wednesday, Thursday, we'll see this little turn come into play here. So I'll adjust this take profit price point, but at the moment we could leave it at 192, but it'll probably push a little bit higher. So here we need to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, then a pullback here, and then pushing up at that point. Okay, so that's really where sort of Apple is at the moment. And Amazon, so with Amazon here, we'll look at wave 3 and 4 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 moving up at that point. You could probably go long in here again. I just don't know if I'll get the timing for this for you in the right way. So, yeah, I mean, going long at 145 here would be fine. You just need to leave the stop out of the way if you want to, re-enter that, and we'll head up towards the 150, making a new high there. And NVIDIA, so NVIDIA is a little bit like Amazon. We'll see wave 1 and 2 here, and 3, 4, 5. So also a classic trading levels pattern here as well. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and we can view the group 1 above the 500 as 1, 2, 3. So it could be anywhere in that zone, Close enough for the time being. Yeah, so I'll just leave that at that. We don't have a trade here. I didn't want to trade before the 500 here. You could probably go long here and get up here. Obviously, the 500 is going to be a little bit of a hurdle to get through. Facebook, and yeah, we should push up to say 350, which is the next number. We've got group 1 here and group 2. I mean group 1 here, and then we go up to the midpoint 50 here. So we'll probably end up pushing up past that. But yeah, so but we're looking for 5 waves from wave 4 to wave 5 up here. Let's just go into the 100 tick area here. We've had this entry here. So yeah, we talked about going long here again on Friday, but we don't really have the first high above the level. Here we've had this sharp drop here. We'll probably need to look at this as 1 and 2 here. I'll just wait. I just want to have a look at how this sort of plays out a little bit. But this would also be a little 1 and 2 in here, so it should just sort of push up. I don't know if it's going to pull back too much across this 335 area here, but yeah. And I've got this labeled here in a couple of different ways as well. I've got this as a, well, yeah. I could also push this over to here. But what I have to do is I have to bring all the tops in together. So I'm just, because all the markets will top together and turn pretty much anyway, most of them. So that will be our job this week, is to sort out these highs. Okay, Netflix. Just wanted to have a talk about this. This is a market that we've either got an alternative wave 4 here, and then at the moment we've got wave 5 of 1 here, but it may end up the case we need to bring wave 5 over here if we make a new high here. And even if we do make a new high, the B wave can, move across the top here, but being a wave 1 and 2 expanded flat of this degree of structure, it's possible, but yeah, I'd rather pull this across at that point. So we'll just see how this moves up here, because the other side of, at the moment we're looking at it as, an A and a B and a C wave up here and then coming down at this point. But if we've got that wave 4 there, that means I may have this on the weekly chart. Let's check. Yeah, so it would be something like this here. Not a huge difference really anyway, And then pushing up again at that point. Just see, break that down a bit. Okay, so this is the wave 4 being here. This would be looking at this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pushing up here. So it may or may not be the case, but all the markets will top together, and wherever they end up, it's like musical chairs. When the music stops, then you need to put stops in, so to speak. So let's just check on the 1000 here. Just drilling in here a little bit. So yeah, we've got to have this as an A and a B for quite some time, and we'll be looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moving up here. The group 2 will slow it down a lot in here, so from 1,000 to 100. So yeah, I'm thinking that we've got a little push here, then a push back, and then a push up here, which will take a fair bit of time. So we'll just see how that goes, and we've got this as C of B here. But like I said, our job, later towards the end of the week will be looking at where the markets are up to and try to sort of figure out how we can bring them, herd them all into the same day as a top. Google here, so this will be, I think I might have listed this up here. I did, yeah. So we can look at this as a wave 3, 4, and 5 coming in over here. It'll be something like this. It may even end up there. We'll see. But yeah, I put another entry here, and I would like to be able to have the first wave up here and then have an A and a B and a C wave here and get you in on the B wave here, but I probably won't be around for it. It will happen in the next session. So all I can say here is it will probably push up and then push back down and then push up again. So you could probably just buy it back at a lower price, or there's many roads to Rome, so to speak. Buying the dip at the 50-60% retracement level, or entering at wave B is a little bit safer. Using the support at 135 here, classic trading levels pattern here is also playing out here. The arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, an ABC pattern, and so on. But I've just put it at the last price there, and we'll keep the stop here on this. And 1, 2, 3. So this is kind of like Amazon and the others, in that sense. And Microsoft here as well. So on Friday we were looking for the top. They didn't quite get to our take profit 380 area, so we'll need to put this here, and the wave 4 will be in at this point. If you're still in this, then stock will go here. You could even have another safe sort of entry above the top here if you wished. But we'll need to look at this up here, and it's probably out a bit of whack on the timing for this one, but anyway, we'll check it out. But yeah, anyway, we're going to get back to 380 on that. And Tesla, so I have changed the count here a little bit, but much the same as some of the other markets where we've got an entry here. We've kept the stop here from last Friday. The good news here, though, is that it does appear we've got a nice little impulse wave up here. So this will pull back into the 50-60% area here, perhaps. I mean, probably find support somewhere in the 233 area. There, you're looking for a little 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here, that kind of thing, and then a push up. So I've just got this above the B wave on this here, so the A wave. But you could buy it lower, but there's risk in that too. Taking the B wave out here is a safe trade. I mean, I prefer that myself, but it doesn't hurt to get a much smaller position in the box, And the other way to do it too is, what I like doing is, once this is finished here, is try to find the first little impulse wave up, and then find another little ABC here, so you can improve the entry and still keep the safety at that point and bring that over to that one, But it's also good to, understand what numbers you're working with over here. At the moment, 230 is the top of minor group 1, and this would be the midpoint at this point. And Down here, the other interesting number would be 233. In here, yeah. So coming up here out of the box, getting a little classic trading levels pattern on that level there would be good, and then adding on another one, adding on 235 here and building in that way. But we should be we're going to take part profit here, and we'll look at moving up here a little bit further in this, try and get a little bit more out of it. Alrighty, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.